So, welcome to Empowered Leads team call for July 13th. We are going to be going over forming, inviting, following up, and how to ensure that you lock in Success Club every month. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that Summit is coming fast. So, if you are coming to Summit, I would definitely push to lock in Success Club before you go so that you are not stressing it when you are there. You literally are not going to have time to do anything else than be a part of the trainings and the workouts and the team building and all the fun and the parties. So if you are coming to Summit, make it your goal to lock in Success Club, I would say this week, so that you can really kind of sit back and not stress about that. With that said, we'll get started. So I'm just curious, for a show of hands, who is struggling with getting an entire power hour in every day consistently? Okay, so first of all, before we even go into the nitty-gritty of what you're doing in your power hour, I think it's really important that we acknowledge it happens, Laura. There is a season for everything. Your life has been a little crazy lately. So I just want to put it out there that this business is built on consistency. You are never going to see what is possible in terms of business building if you are only doing your power hour sometimes. And with that said, that sometimes, yes, life is busy, or you have things that happen with your family, or you have emergencies, or you're struggling with something personally. I totally understand that. But I would encourage you to never let a day go by where you don't do something that moves yourself forward, whether it's responding to messages in your inbox, sending out even 3 invites, adding a couple people to your network. Just do something. Like, you have to do something every single day if you want this to work. And even better, if you can literally make it a non-negotiable goal for yourself to do a power hour every single day, whether it's a power half hour or a full power hour, depending on what your goals are and what Success Club goal you're shooting for. Because without those vital behaviors, without that business building behavior, you're never going to grow a business. You don't have a business if you're not doing the vital behaviors. So think about it in terms of having a no excuses mentality. And just my personal 2 cents on this, when you are struggling with something in your personal life, or you have things going on that are dragging down your energy or kind of shifting your focus, it's really important to kind of step back and acknowledge that. Because if you just try to push through whatever that is, it's going to feel like an uphill battle, and you're going to be pushy with your messages, or you're not going to be fully present in your conversations. And it just doesn't go as well because you're not as motivated as you are if you're in the right mindset. So getting yourself in a good mindset before you do your power hour is key to success, to going into that with confidence. So if you need to do it right after you work out, when you're on a post-workout high, or if you need to drink a cup of coffee, or I've heard some coaches say they chug Energize before they do a power hour, whatever it is, or do your personal development, listen to a 5-minute, Les Brown video, a motivational video or something, but get yourself into a good mindset before you sit down to do your power hours. Because essentially what we are doing is helping other people, filling other people up. And if you're trying to pour from an empty cup, it doesn't work like that. So make sure you're putting you first before you step into doing these behaviors. With that said, and the vital behaviors being put above all else, I think that it's important that you set benchmarks for yourself. Because if you go into a month just thinking like, oh, I hope I hit Success Club 5 by the end of the month, you're not really going to push yourself, especially in the first couple weeks of the month, because you think, oh, well, I've got 30 days. But as we know, months fly by. Things get busy. Life is busy. You put it off for a couple days, and then you realize, oh my God, it's been 3 days and I haven't done anything. So set a benchmark for yourself at the beginning of every month. And what I like to personally do is I look at my calendar, and I've adjusted this as time goes on. But for the longest time, I would say something like, okay, I want to be Success Club 2 by the 3rd of the month. I want to be Success Club 4 by the 5th. I want to be Success Club 6 by the 9th. And I always made it my goal to be Success Club 10 by the first 2 weeks of the month. Now I personally try to push to hit Success Club 10 in the first week of the month because I want to fill up my challenge groups. I want to have more energy to dedicate to my team, and I want to be able to have more energy to really focus on my challengers that I've brought on, and to also be able to continue really focusing on building new relationships and filling my pipeline for the next month. So if you're not setting any benchmark goals for yourself in terms of hitting Success Club, it's a really great idea to do that. And you don't have to do what I do. But if you want to, if you're pushing to hit Success Club 5, I would always suggest that you set a goal for yourself that is double what you want to end at, because we all know that sometimes people say they're ready and then they disappear, or people say they're waiting on a paycheck, or people go on a vacation, or whatever. Things happen. And you can't always just rely on the fact that if a couple people said yes, that you've got it locked in. You have to continue to talk to new people and do this every day. Okay, so let's dive into first, because I'm basically going to just go through my entire system of what I do every single day and what gets me into hitting Success Club 10 and above for over 26 months now. So I first and foremost, you need to track your business. You have to track it, because if you're not tracking it, you have no way to gauge what you are doing, what you aren't doing, what you need to work on, what you need to do more of. So if you work better from paper, print out a Power Hour tracker, print out a Power of Threes, print out the Empower to Lead Power Hour tracker that I've posted in the team page. I can post it to Aspire Nation as well, but it has the slots on it for adding to your network, inviting, forming, and following up. And you can write people's names in those slots as you go. And personally, I have had this whiteboard for over 2 years now that has all my vital behaviors written on it. And when I'm sitting down at my desk doing my Power Hour, I take an expo marker and I mark things off as I go. So at the end of the day, I can look at that whiteboard and say, okay, well, I didn't start enough new conversations today, so let me go do that real quick. Okay, go potty. No, it's too scary. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'll turn the light on. Okay, so like I was saying, I work from my whiteboard so that I can always go back at the end of the day and see what I have done and if I've accomplished everything that I needed to do that day. And once in a while, like I said, when life gets in the way and something happens, I can look and say like, oh, I only added 3 people to my network yesterday, so I'm going to add 6 or 7 today. So kind of playing catch up with yourself. That's why it's important to track it. You know what I mean? So with that said, when you're figure out a way to track that works for you, and now I'm going to start going into my actual system of what I do. So first and foremost, adding to your network. Adding to your network is key. If you are not adding new people, you have no new eyes on your social media posts, you have no new people to talk to, you're going to run out of people to invite. At some point, you're going to run out of your warm market of people that you know. And it's super important to be adding people every single day. So I suggest adding 3 to 5 new people to your network a day, and places that you can find them. I'm in a lot of mom groups. I'm in a lot of organizational, like household, do-it-yourself kind of groups. Whatever your hobbies are, if you like sports, get in some sports pages. You can even go to public figure pages. Hold on, I gotta make sure everybody's muted. You can even go to things like public figure pages, like for something. But I've found groups to be the best way, because If it's something that you already are familiar with, like a mom group, where people are asking mom questions, like you can engage in those groups and once in a while pop in and answer a question or post a funny picture or something and get interacting in those groups. And then when you go to friend those people, it's not so random, right? Also, you can add friends of friends. So you can go to one of your friends' pages and you already kind of know what your friend is like. You can go through some of their friends and think like, who looks like somebody I want to be friends with, and add people that way. And then I'm going to screen share for a second really quick to show you what I do from once I add people to my network, what I do from there. So can everybody see my screen? I can't see if anybody, yeah, okay. Okay, so once you've added people to your network, I immediately, the next morning, I go to my personal Facebook page and I go to friends. I click friends right here. And then there's a little spot right here on the bar. You can click on recently added. Okay, so once you click on recently added, I know I've already written all these people down, but I keep a running list in a notebook, and as every single day, I can look at the last person that I wrote in my notebook, and I can know that these 8 people are people that I became friends with in the past day and a half, and I write their name down on a list. And so then I automatically go to their page, and I'll find something that I can connect with them about. So I've written their name in a notebook, so I know who my new friends are, because if you're not tracking that, you're going to have all these people in your network and have no clue where they came from. But that is immediately how I go from adding to my network into the forming process. So then I go to somebody's page and I can scope around a little bit really quickly. Maybe I'll like a picture, I'll comment on a picture, because that's a lot less intimidating than reaching out and sending a message often. But I will scroll through and I will see something that I can relate to or I can comment on. And then oftentimes, most of the time, I reach out and I send them a message. And I'll just say something like, hey girl, I love your son's outfit. Where did you get that from? Or, oh my God, I love your necklace. Where did you buy that from? For example, I started a conversation with a girl today who I saw that she had a lot of posts for a nonprofit organization on her page. And I reached out and just said, hey, what is this nonprofit organization that you're a part of? What's it all about? And you'd be surprised. She wrote me like a 5-paragraph response about what it is and why she's passionate about it. And we had a long conversation about it. You can also do things like if you see somebody traveling and it's somewhere you'd like to go to, or it's somewhere really pretty, you can comment on things like that. There is a million ways where you can start simple conversations that have nothing to do with Beachbody, where you are just focusing on making friends and making new connections. So you want to do at least 5 of those a day. And in my notebook, next to their name, when I have reached out and sent an initial forming message, I put a star next to their name so that I know that I've already started a conversation with that person. When I do go into my inbox later, I'll show you a couple of those conversations that I've started and how they've progressed into talking more about health and fitness goals, because I know that often that is where people get stopped up. Like, how do you create that connection from becoming a friend and chatting to going into health and fitness kind of stuff? So I will show you some of those conversations later. But I want you to remember, when you're in these conversations and you're building new friendships, that you want to be more interested than interesting. You want to ask questions about them. I often see that people are from where I grew up in Massachusetts, and I'll be like, oh my God, I grew up in Worcester. That's so cool, you know, whatever. And you'd be surprised how many people are just so open to making friendships and talking about things. So take the scare factor off the plate. Ooh, you need a Band-Aid? Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is that you can add value in these conversations. Hey. I'm sorry.
I love this girl. I watch her.
This is like the witching hour.
Bio journey. Dana?
Yes? Who's talking?
She's a coach. She teaches you how to
like not a badminton at all, but I'm saying like the whole like way to get like I was listening a lot with
But that's how you do it.
it's very manipulative.
So, okay, I got you. Okay, so continuing on with that, of being more interested than interesting. Also, sometimes you might see something on somebody's page, like you see they've shared one of those like tasty recipe videos, or they've shared something about like one of those programs where you can order groceries to be delivered to your house or whatever, and it kind of like gives you an idea that maybe they are interested in nutrition or health or something like that. And oftentimes I've just quickly like gone into like bookmark things that I have about like saving on groceries or like a recipe or something, and been like, hey, I saw that on your page and I thought that you might enjoy this too. And so immediately, I don't even know this person, but I'm adding value to them. So if you find something like that you can add value to that person, go ahead and do that right from the get-go. Okay, so then going into, quickly, I just want to touch when you're connecting with these people, like I said in the beginning, commenting or liking their pictures. I want to make sure, and I want to stress, that you are sharing your journey on social media, that you are sharing about you, that you are being interesting, because oftentimes if you are new friends with somebody and you comment or like on something or you shoot them a message, it's just human nature to be like, who is this person? And they're going to come to your page and they're going to scope you out. And you want to make sure that you have things that are there that are going to show them about you and who you are and what you're up to, because if you're not, they're not going to double look at you. You know what I mean? So making sure that you're continuously sharing that is really, really important. And also to add to that is with your personal journey, it's a great idea if you can make public announcements of when you are starting a program, of, publicly sharing your journey every single day, sharing your story, and then posting your results, because people are going to scroll through your page oftentimes. Don't lie, because you all do it. But making sure that there's things there that people can see that you have something to join and be a part of. Okay, so now moving on. With forming and keeping conversations going, you always want to try to end with an open-ended question or end with something that gives you an open door to go back into that conversation. And then you can always go back through your inbox a couple days later and kind of follow up with these people or keep that continue on conversation. And then I want you to take notice, because this takes a little bit of time, but I notice this all the time now, that the people that I'm starting new conversations with or forming with are people that are starting to like my posts on social media. So I will go through my social media posts every couple days, and I will look at the people that have liked my posts, and I will look at the names of the people that I have recently added to my network. This is very important, because if these people have started liking your health and fitness post or liked a recipe that you shared or something like that, those are people that you, A, have already opened a door and started a conversation with, and B, they're showing you that they're interested in what you're doing, but they may not be brave enough to ask you about it. So another great way to reach out is just to go through the people that have liked your posts or commented on your posts and personally thank them for their support. That is literally all you have to say is, thank you so much for your support on my post. And if somebody has commented or liked something that is more geared towards your fitness journey or a challenge group post or something like that, that is a really easy door into saying, hey, thank you so much for your support on my posts. I don't know if you're interested, but I just wanted to let you know that I run monthly accountability and support groups. I saw that you liked that post. If that's something you're interested in, I'd love to chat more about your personal goals. And it's not sketchy, and it's not scary, and it's not pushy. It's just saying, hey, thank you so much for your support, and then kind of moving right directly into that invite. That doesn't always happen, but it is important to be aware of that if these people are liking and commenting on your posts. Does that make sense? I know I'm kind of going on tangents here, but I'm trying to cover as much as I can, so bear with me. The next thing, so kind of, Amanda said I'm doing that a lot, and it definitely helps lead to invites. Yes. I have noticed a lot more so even lately that a lot of new people are liking my posts, and that's probably because I'm sharing my journey a lot since I'm doing this competition right now. But sharing your journey every day, so important. So the next thing, moving into the invites. And this can be people that you have been forming with or people that have mentioned something. Like oftentimes somebody will say, oh my God, you're in such awesome shape. Like, what do you do? Or somebody might say, oh my God, I get this a lot from moms is like, oh, I'm a newer mom and I'm just so not in shape. I wish I could, look more like you, or I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. And that's such an easy way. If somebody has already expressed some kind of interest, that those are people that you can invite. And if you want to, kind of take that, because I know some of you are uncomfortable with being so direct with invites, but confidence is so damn key with inviting. Confidence is like the gold. If you are not confident in what you are inviting to, or you're not confident in the value that you have to offer people, you're going to struggle with invites big time, because you have to be super confident in what you have to offer, in your value as a coach, and in our community and the help that you have to offer people. So if you go into your invites with total confidence of what you have to offer and totally let go of what the outcome is going to be, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot more luck with them. Okay, so some ideas of inviting. So now there's two things you can invite to. There is challenge groups and there is the coaching opportunity, and you need to be inviting to both. Yes, it is important to bring on new challengers every month and hit Success Club, but if you're never sharing the business opportunity, you're never going to grow a team, and nothing is going to get huge with your business. That is how you grow a big business, is building a team. So you have to be doing both. So an idea about inviting, a couple ideas. Like I said, you can say, hey girl, I saw that you liked my post. I run monthly support groups. Have you ever considered? If so, I would love to chat more about your goals and tell you a little bit about the group. And if you were interested, you could join us. You could also say, if you see that somebody's going on a vacation, or they're getting ready for a wedding, or they just recently had a baby, or they're a stay-at-home mom, or something where you see that they probably don't have a ton of time to go to a gym, or they're getting ready for an event or something coming up in their life, you can have that confidence and say, I don't know if you've ever considered something like this, but I was thinking, it might be something. I know a lot of brides are wanting to get in shape for their wedding. Have you ever considered? I run these groups. They're so fun. We're super supportive, and just be confident in that. I oftentimes put it out there that I didn't have time to go to a gym as a new mom. I didn't have anybody to watch my son. I definitely couldn't find 2 hours in my day to get dressed and drive to a gym and therefore work out, nor did I know what the hell I was doing at a gym anyways. So, you have to really hone in on what it is for you that made Beachbody so impactful for you. And you can put that into your conversations to easily relate it to people. The next thing and I'm going to show you some ideas of invites as well when I go into my inbox, so don't worry. But the next thing with inviting to coaching, more often than not, I look at people on my network and I see people that I like their energy, I like their vibe, they're positive. Maybe they're already into fitness. Maybe they already post a lot about cooking or nutrition, or they're training for a marathon or a Tough Mudder or something like that. These are the kind of people that potentially could make amazing coaches. So if you see people like that on your network, it's so easy to reach out and say, hey, I see that you're into health and fitness, or hey, I see that you're into running, or hey, I see that you like to cook. I don't know if you've ever considered taking a look at what I do, but I think it might be an awesome fit for you. you would probably be a natural, and just be really confident in that. And you never know. Somebody could say, I had 2 girls this week say, oh my God, I've been totally interested, but I have no idea what it entails. So just open that door. That is your job, to open that door. So by all means, if you see somebody that you would think would make a great fit for your team, or that they would be great at coaching, just reach out and say, hey, have you ever considered this? I think you'd be awesome at it. That's it. The next thing, in terms of going from forming to inviting, I want you to remember that you're planting seeds. So you have to be expecting that you're going to get a lot of no's, you're going to get a lot of objections. And it's really important that you don't lose enthusiasm when you're going from one no to the next, because too often I hear so many coaches saying, oh my God, I'm just getting no. I'm getting money objection after money objection. And guys, that's the thing. We all get those. I can't even tell you how many no's and objections I get every single month, but you have to remember that you are planting that seed, because once you have extended that invite to those people, they are watching you and seeing what they are doing, what you're doing. You are building trust by them, following your journey openly on social media. And often you're going to go back and follow up with those people later on. And no usually always means not now. Okay. So I would honestly say that probably 60% or more of the people that I sign up every single month are people that have told me no prior to this. I wish I could have a true percentage of that, because it's probably astounding. But I want you to remember, when you're going from forming to inviting, that asking open-ended questions is super important. Sharing your story is super important, even in your personal messages, sharing your experience, sharing how it's helped you, sharing how it's changed your life. And then when you're forming, I'm going to put these questions in the text box real quick. And I know that I've posted these in the team page like a million times, but these are the questions that I ask people. If somebody has, posted on something or commented on something, and I reach out and thank them for their support, and they kind of ask me what I do, or I have reached out and extended a challenge group invite and we haven't talked about their goals yet, or even once in a while you will have somebody, okay. You will have somebody say to you like, hey, I see that you do that program. How much does that cost? You never, ever, ever, ever. Declan, hold on a second, guys. I need to get him settled. Okay, so what I was saying is, if somebody reaches out, and I've heard some of you say that this has happened, they ask you about pricing of something. They say like, hey, how much does Shakeology cost? Or, hey, I saw that you're doing the 21-day fix. How much does that cost? You never, ever want to just put the price out there like that, because you have not builded the value yet, and you have not yet made them understand why and how they could benefit this. So when they see a dollar sign, they're like, holy crap, $140? No way. And you're going to just get an objection right off the bat 99% of the time, because they have no understanding of what they're getting for that. So in the event that you have that happen, or somebody has asked you about a program, or you have invited somebody and you haven't talked about their goals, I posted them in the comments, but these are the questions that I ask every single person that I talk to, without a doubt, every single person. Because then it allows me, when they respond to things like this, they can tell me, okay, Dana, I want to lose 20 pounds. I'd really like to tone. I only do cardio maybe twice a week, or I only walk my kid around the block. I don't have a ton of time. And then they tell me my nutrition. I struggle with cravings. I eat a lot of carbs. I don't have great energy. And right there, I have a couple open-ended things that allow me to say, okay, 20 pounds is a really doable goal. in terms of exercise with the set program, you only need about 30 minutes to see really great results. And if you're looking to tone your body, doing only cardio isn't going to help you see that result. And then I mentioned about the nutrition. When you're struggling with cravings, that is typically a huge sign that your body is lacking in nutrition, where Shakeology has come in and been such a game changer for me in that department. And besides that, I know that you also said you struggle with proper portions. And it's something where I can say I've followed the 21 Day Fix meal plan for 2+ years now. And it's made clean eating so simple and so enjoyable for me because there's no guesswork of how much to eat or what to eat. And then I go right into saying, would you mind if I send you a video about the program that I think would be the best fit for you? And would you mind if I send you a video to learn more about Shakeology so that you can see the importance of dense nutrition? Because nutrition is 70% of seeing results. And that's left the door open. And then you're going to go and you're going to utilize your third-party tools. If you don't know what third-party tools is on your business activity tracker, this is what that is. So it is the videos that you use to explain things to people for you so that you're not trying to ramble about what the 21 Day Fix entails, what all the workouts are, and trying to explain that to them. So this is a video that I always send for the 21 Day Fix. It's the 21 Day Fix promo video. And then for Shakeology, let me find it for you. I always use the how healthy is your shake video.
And you want to feel better, how healthy it.
Okay, so this does all the explaining for you. You don't have to try and explain everything that's in Shakeology or how it works or why it's literally the best nutritional product that they could ever possibly get their hands on. These do all that explaining for you. And then all you have to do is follow up with these people. And that's what we're talking about next is follow-ups. So a lot of times once you've sent people these videos, they're going to immediately respond and say, oh my God, that program looks awesome, or oh my God, I need Shakeology. And that's an easy way for you to say, okay, this program is on sale for this amount of money right now, and explain, and I can post that for you guys too if you want, how I explain those things. But I literally explain everything that's entailed in that challenge pack, and I stress the fact that buying it as a challenge pack is saving them over $70 because everybody wants to save money. Everybody wants to get the biggest bang for their buck. And so really stressing that they're getting such a discount on it by buying a challenge pack is important. And that is also when you can just go ahead and directly invite them right into your challenge group. I wanted to let you know I have a challenge group starting on the 18th. And if you'd like to join us and you're really ready to get started on your journey, I would love to save you a spot and have you join us. Now, if people don't respond when you've gotten to that place in your conversation, you want to make sure that within 2 to 3 days that you follow up with that person, and you can say something as simple as, hey girl, I know that I sent you those videos the other day. Did you have a chance to watch those yet? And if you did, do you have any questions? And if your challenge group is coming up in a week or a week and a half, that's a great time to also say, and kind of create that sense of urgency by giving them a date, because you're not being pushy if you're giving them a date. You don't want to say something like, hey, you need to sign up today if you want to make it into my challenge group, because nobody wants to feel pressured or pushed. But you can create that sense of urgency by saying, hey, my challenge group is starting on the 18th. I just wanted to let you know that if you were ready to get started, that it takes about 5 to 7 days for your package to come. And it would be great, you know, if you could get it in time so that you feel prepared before the start date. Also, if you're, I know personally in my challenge groups that I do a prep week. So I do like a week countdown to my challenge groups where I'm talking about meal planning and goal setting, and everybody's introducing themselves and all that kind of stuff. And so that's given me even more of a leeway with inviting, because the week prior to that prep week starting, when I'm inviting, I'm stressing the prep week. I'm stressing the importance of them, dumping the junk in their house and, getting their meal plan ready, and just getting familiar with what they're going to be doing with their program and making time for their workouts and things like that. And then when it gets closer to when that prep week starts, that's when I start stressing the sense of urgency of the actual challenge group date. So I mentioned that our prep week is already running and that our challenge group starts next Monday, because that gives me two separate places to really create a sense of urgency to, because they can easily catch up on the prep week if they haven't joined prior to that. Does that make sense? Yes. And just with that said, this is why it's really important to know when you're starting your next challenge group at the beginning of the month, because if you just kind of pick random dates, you're not going to know when you need to invite to, or be able to give people dates to create that sense of urgency. So I always like to start my challenge groups the third Monday of every month, because that gives me almost 3 weeks to invite to new challenge groups, plenty of time to help 3 to 5 new people. Declan, can you open the door? Declan, can you open the door? So the next thing is that I want you to remember in your follow-ups, not just with creating a sense of urgency, but creating a sense of excitement. So it's really important when you're doing these follow-ups to make it personal, to remind somebody if they've told you, I want to lose 20 pounds and I deal with cravings, to say, hey girl, I know you've been struggling a lot with cravings. I know you mentioned you wanted to lose 20 pounds. And then you can go into that inviting again. Because it's really important for you to remind people that you know why they want to get started and that you really are being intentful of wanting to help them with those goals. The next thing is, if they don't respond, and this is something that my coach Kelly has actually kind of mastered, and I've been doing it a lot more lately, and it actually really is helpful. So if you have people that ignore you, or you have people that you followed up with a couple times, or you've invited a couple times and they're not responding to your messages, and sometimes you have those people where you can see they saw what you wrote, but they're still not responding, and you're kind of like, oh, what did I do wrong, or why are they ignoring me? It's great to just reach out and say something like, hey, I hope that I didn't say anything that offended you, or I hope you didn't feel like I was trying to be pushy. I'm just super excited to help you on your journey and help you reach your goals, because I just feel so incredible that I love giving that gift to other people. And then, you can kind of just say, I just wanted to remind you that my challenge group starts next week, and I would love to have you join us if you were ready to get started. And 90% of the times they will respond, because they don't want you to feel bad, because you know that you've said nothing wrong, you know that you haven't offended that person, but it's just one of those things that sometimes people might see it and they don't have the time to respond, or they're scared, or they're not ready, or they're kind of afraid of what it entails, or maybe they're afraid of failure. You never know why people aren't responsive, so don't just assume that they're ignoring you. Okay, and then the last couple things is remembering that basically when you're inviting, there's 3 ways to invite. You're inviting by posting on your social media every single day, whether it's just sharing your journey so that it's showing people what they could be joining, or whether it's a challenge group invite, personal messages, and also 2 sneak peeks when we run our sneak peeks every single month, or even when Elizabeth does opportunity webinars for Team Drop the Cookie. Those are the times that you need to be hell-bent on inviting to those things, because it's literally giving you something to easily invite people to without you doing a ton of work. It is just your job to plug people into these things. Have a good night, Rach. And then the next thing that I wanted to cover before I go into my inbox is that people who say no to you, just go ahead and ask them right when they say no. If they're like, no, this isn't a good time, I'm going on a vacation, or no, I have family in town, or whatever. I get that a lot. Ask those people right then and there if it's okay for you to follow up with them next month for your next challenge group. and just say, hey, I know this isn't the best time for you right now, but would you mind if I follow up with you next month and see if that's a better time? And 99% of the time they say, sure, I would love that. I would absolutely love if you would check back in on me later. And that gives you, a list of people to go ahead and follow up with next month. So with all that covered, I just want to make sure that you know how important it is to work from a list. Because if you're not working from a list, you're going to lose people. You're going to forget names. And if you're really doing a power hour every single day, you're connecting with a lot of people. I don't know if you guys saw on the team page, I don't know, a week and a half ago or so, that Laura was posting her power hour tracker where she had all her names of people she was forming with, people she invited, people that she had to follow up with. And it's so simple to literally get your power hour done in so much more effective time if you're working from a list. So instead of sitting down and being like, oh my God, who am I going to talk to today? Or who am I going to invite today? That you have that list right there in your face and say, bam, 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 I'm going to invite these 5 people. I'm going to follow up with these 5 people. And you can get it done in so quick of a time that you literally have no excuse of why you cannot get your power hour in every single day. So now, with that said, I am going to stop the recording so that I can go into my inbox and show you some actual conversations.